Hey everybody, this morning we're going to talk to you about golden Forsythia. Show you how to get it for free, how to root it and plant it from cuttings so that you can beautify an area with a very beautiful plant. Come closer, honey. Let's show them this golden Forsythia. Got a couple of neat stories. Golden Forsythia is one of those beautiful plants that is in such abundance and you can find in so many places in the wild or in other people's yards. You really should never spend money on it. You can buy it at the stores, but it's not necessary. Got a couple of neat stories for you here about golden Forsythia. This one, and we have two others along this fence line that came to us the same way. We got from our son's bus driver this spring. He drove by and he asked, one morning he was picking our son up, he said, "Hey, you want some golden Forsythia?" And we said, "Sure." So he brought us out three. This is before they were barely starting to bud. We planted them evenly across the fence because we've been wanting to do something with this fence line here that starts at the beginning of our driveway for a while. And golden Forsythia was the perfect choice. And the reason why is because, as you can see, the driveway is graveled. Well, when they graveled this driveway years ago, a lot of the gravel kind of came over wide. And so when we were digging the soil last year, we were going to actually plant some other sorts of plants, but the soil here still has a lot of gravel in it just underneath the surface. So golden Forsythia is a perfect fit for such soil because I mean, it's very hardy. It's hard to kill it. This is one of those plants you've got to almost try to kill and you still can't kill it. So the soil doesn't have to be perfect. A lot of plants are finicky and fickle and they've got to have perfect soil. Golden Forsythia is not one of those plants. Now, this golden Forsythia, which I'm going to stick in the ground here this morning, has an even more interesting story to it. This was originally two limbs or two stems about this long, two or three, that I cut up into smaller pieces. I'm going to tell you where I got it. I was in town about a month ago and I was walking through a condominium complex where they had golden Forsythia everywhere, and the people, the crew that does the landscaping and the yard work had come through about 2 days before and they had trimmed the golden Forsythia hedges. Now there it was growing up thick, it's as thick as a hedge, so they pruned it for the year so that it would bloom out and blossom really beautiful and they could keep it cut back and control it. And they had hauled the cuttings away to dispose of them, but there were a couple of limbs about this big right up against the edge of the sidewalk at the side of the road that they had missed and the wind had blown around, and they were dried up and they were all withered. And I thought, man, here I am again, a day late and a dollar short. If I'd have been here a day, or maybe it was 2 days ago, I could have had all the golden Forsythia cuttings I wanted. I thought, well, don't give up. Where there's a will, there's a way. I picked those stems up this big right off the side of the road. I brought them home. I cut them down into lengths, about 12-inch long lengths, 8 to 12-inch longs, and I just stuck them in this little, used to be a bottle of water, cut the top off, put water in there, and I put them in the shed, and I just kind of forgot about them. Well, as you can tell, they've lived. I mean, they were kind of drying out. They've come back to life beautifully. They've sprouted buds and then leaves, and this is 1 month of a stick that looked dead. So figured, you know, these things fought so hard to come back to life, we're going to bring them down here and add them to our fence line. And it is as simple as this. Like I said, the soil here is kind of, I clipped the weeds down already, but it's kind of gravelly. It's not the best soil in the world to grow things, but I will just take this golden Forsythia. It doesn't matter if the water spills out because it served its purpose. And I will just shove it down in the ground like this. I'm doing it at an angle because that seems to be the easiest way in which to do it with this soil. You can do straight, you can do it at an angle. Now there's another one from the bus driver. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put two in between each. Honey, please don't step on the one I just planted, silly. And then I'm going to shove one down in here. Now, if you do this, if you do it exactly like I'm showing you in this video, don't panic when next week you come out and these leaves are withered and they're dyed and they're dead and it looks like it's dead, and you say, oh my gosh, that guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He lied to me. It doesn't work that way. It does work this way. What's going to happen now is these plants have been being very spoiled. They've been sucking up that water to feed the leaves and the buds, and we've got new buds on this one. Well, now that I've taken them out of the water and I've stuck them in the soil, the plant's going to switch the way in which it's using its energy. It's going to stop feeding the leaves and the buds that are here, and it's going to start focusing on producing roots. So for the rest of the year, okay, we're gonna see these die off, and for the rest of this year, and it's only May 5, all summer we might not see another leaf on this, but all summer it's gonna be producing roots. And if you do this, don't think that you've just got dead sticks in your yard and pull them up and get rid of them. It's producing roots. Next spring, this thing will bud, produce leaves, perhaps even produce a beautiful yellow flower it produces, and it'll start growing like crazy from there. And within 2 or 3 years, our entire fence line here leading to our driveway is going to be covered in golden Forsythia. So I'm going to do the rest after we stop here. I don't want to take up your time, but if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something from it, please subscribe to our channel and join us for more next time from Homesteading Off the Grid.